Hello everyone and welcome to the guide to oQueue, so that you can get to using what looks at first like quite a complicated add-on, but which is in fact not all that hard to kind of figure out. So anyway, let's get to it. First off, you want to type /oQueue in your chat, hit enter, and kaboom, you have oQueue up there and ready to be used. Now the first thing I want to cover is really just, there's been quite a lot of controversy, as a lot of you will probably have heard about the oQueue add-on. A lot of people are saying it's against the terms of service, and so people are assuming that maybe they'll get banned if they use it or something. And while it's true, from what I know at least, that it is against the terms of service, the fault lies with the add-on developer, not with the people using the add-on. So you won't get banned for using the add-on. Anyway, basically, if you want to know what the whole big, oh my goodness, everything in the world is falling and crashing down around our ears, the big massive thing that is apparently betraying the terms of service, it's this button over here called Send Beer, which is basically a button to take you through to like donate to the guy who made the add-on. That is the cause of the fuss, because apparently you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that in the terms of service. So that is the big, oh no, the universe is horrible type thing. Personally, doesn't really bother me, but hey, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It is apparently against the terms of service. The main thing you need to take away from this is the fact that you won't get banned for using this add-on. You are not forced to donate to the add-on developer. It's just there. If you want to click it, go ahead, up to you. Anyway, now let's go through to create a premade. Now, what I really want to do is kind of explain how to create yourself a premade, and then once you know how to make one, looking at other premades that other people have made, they should make quite a lot more sense to you. So anyway, let's go through this. And basically, it's already filled in a couple of things, which is my name. This is my character's name in the game. This is my hunter, with a funny little A. Anyway, and you know, got my battle tag there and everything. So then you can type in your premade name. Now you want to have a premade name that actually makes some degree of sense. So you want to have your premade name be something that refers to what you're doing, or you know, just something in general. So for example, let's say that I wanted to make a premade group for Siege of Orgrimmar flex difficulty. So I could type in so flex and you know, maybe need all. You know, if you put stuff in the title, you know, short specific things that you're after, you're more likely to get what you need. I mean, if you have need all there, or if you have just like Siege of Orgrimmar flex, but maybe you only need a tank, you can choose it here, yes, but it's much harder for someone to see the smaller details of this than it is to just have it in the title. So if you had in the title English only, or English speaking only, or something, you could put that there, and that makes it a lot easier for people to actually see. Generally, if you're more specific about what you want from people, you are more likely to get that. Obviously, you'll still probably get some people that are going to apply, and you're going to be like, dude, like, why are you here? It says English speaking only, and you don't speak a word of English. How did you even read the title? But anyway, so that's just kind of giving you an idea. Moving on, we have minimum item level. So if you don't know what an item level is, which I am guessing pretty much everyone does, you go through here, your item level's here, it's your item level for your gear that you have equipped. My item level is terrible because this is my low-geared hunter. Basically, you can put in your minimum item level. So let's say for Siege of Orgrimmar Flex, we wanted an item level of, let's say, 520 or something, which just as an example. Then that means that no one with an item level below 520 can even say, I would like to join. They can't even apply. So what happens is they click through, and then you'll get a separate window over here, or a separate tab, of where my mouse is, and you'll click through to that, and then it'll give you a list of all of the people that are saying they would like to join. Basically their name is there, and they've got a little button there for you to invite them, and it'll tell you what like their name is, you know, their character's name. You'll see whether like they're a priest or a warlock, you know, what class they are, what spec they are. I think you'll see that as well, but you might not. You'll also see like how much haste and mastery and stuff they have, what their item level is, and just like a whole bunch of information, you know, will be there. But they can't get on that list. They cannot get through to that section if their item level is too low. So don't put something silly like item level requirement 700, because guess what? No one can even apply to that now. Well done. So they can see it, and they can click, I would like to join, but you will not get anything from that. Now, where you want to set the minimum item level, that is up to you. I know that some people like to have absolutely absurd item levels for what they're doing, and if you want to do that, that's up to you. You know, it really is. It's your pre-made. I know some people will say, "Oh no, it's horrible. How could you do that? It makes, you know, it's morally wrong to request a very, very high item level for this." The thing is, if you're making it, you're the one making it. If they don't like it, they can go make their own. You know, so set it at what you feel works for you. Try to keep it within some bounds of logical reason, but in general, hey, just go with whatever it is that you want. Now, then you have minimum resilience. Now, the thing with minimum resilience is, of course, for the PvPers, because this is there to set up for raids, and it's also there to set up for things like battlegrounds. So you might not want people who do not have any PvP gear, and minimum resilience really kind of helps you sort of sort them out. So, for example, maybe you wanted the minimum resilience to be like 1,000 or something. I don't know. I don't really PvP. I have no idea what the numbers are these days. But like you could put in the minimum resilience there, and you could then filter out people, much like the item level. If they do not have that level of resilience, they cannot even apply to join. They can try, but they won't come through to you. So they can't really harass you and be like, "Hey, invite me. I'm like nearly at your minimum resilience." No. You are either at it, or you are not there. It's a yes or no question. Boom. And then you've got a minimum battleground rating, and of course you'll see stuff like that when people go through. So maybe you wanted their minimum battleground rating to be, I don't know, like 1900 or something, whatever. And then you can type in the description here, you know, a little bit more about stuff, and then in the notes, if you go through to the pre-made, you see this bit here, that's where the notes should show up. So you can type in the notes, maybe like some extra information that you want people, hang on, there we go, maybe the notes over here, so maybe you wanted to type in some extra information for people, like these are the rules, etc, etc, and then you can just be like, "Hey guys, you're here, go look at the notes." If you don't look at the notes and you break one of said rules, you will get slapped and kicked out of the raid, or something, whatever it is. Use the notes for what you feel it would be best used for. And then you've got password over here. Now the password is quite simple. So, say I wanted to set up a battleground run with a whole bunch of friends of mine, and maybe their friends, or something. Then we would have passwords. You know, we could set up the passwords. So yes, people could see it. Everyone could see that it is there. It's not private. But they cannot join unless they type in the password. They'll get like there'll be like a little key symbol next to it and stuff. And then they have to type in the password in order to be able to apply, and then you can, you know, get them in. And that's just, there if you want to set up something a little bit more private. I wouldn't say it's incredibly useful, but it can be, especially if perhaps you wanted to set up like your base of friends through oQueue or something, that you can just normally invite them. So not entirely sure about how useful it is, but it's there, so if you ever feel the need to use it, the password option is there. Up to you to use. Cool. Next up we have the pre-made type over here on the right hand side. So, oh sorry, I also forgot enforced level brackets. Basically that means if a level 89 wants to join your Siege of Orgrimmar Flex that we've got here, we have the enforced level bracket here, so the level 89 cannot even apply. Much the same with the item levels and all of that. So if you want level 1s in your raid or whatever, make sure that that is not ticked. Just there for you to know. Now then you've got pre-made type. Now this will just put it into different categories, and again, like I keep saying, be very, very specific, okay? Don't be lazy, because it will just save you more time if you are more specific. It's not very hard to just tick some boxes. So there we go. Let's say raid, right? And then you want to pick the type of raid. So I think Siege of Orgrimmar is somewhere over here. There we go. Siege of Orgrimmar. And then you can pick the difficulty, which, let's say, Flex. I'm not actually going to set this up, but I am showing you how I would. So we've got Siege of Orgrimmar Flex, a minimum item level of 520. There's no point in having resilience or a battleground rating, because we're not PvPing Garrosh. We're just going to slap him in the face. And there's no password, and there we go, we've got the raid and subtype of raid, the difficulty is Flex, and the voice service, let's say we were using Ventrilo, right? So if you don't have Ventrilo, don't join. And then you've got the language. Now, a lot of people do not pick the language, and this I find it rather annoying. Please guys, when you're setting up a raid, again, just be specific. It's not hard. Just pick one of these flags, okay? Just pick a language that represents what you actually are going to be speaking. If you want to run a Swedish run, just tick the Swedish flag. How is that so hard? And to be honest, I would say a lot of the fault lies more with the English speakers than with the people who speak other languages. And I don't know why that is. I guess there's like some degree of arrogance that people are like, they just assume that everyone can speak English or something because it's quite an international language or something, but do not be arrogant, because then if you do not specify and someone who cannot speak English joins your raid, it's your fault. Just specify. And if you want to see the difference between English and US and English UK, I mean, it's so marginal that you could pick either of these flags. It's really rather irrelevant. I would say, however, if you're on American servers, pick the US flag, because you're on American servers and they like their flag, I guess. And if you're on the EU servers, pick the UK flag, because Americans will probably respond more to seeing their flag, and otherwise they might be like, whoa, is this like some kind of like European run? What's going on? So just like, again, just pick the flag kind of like, that's what I would do anyway. It's just a suggestion. It's not like a, this is how it is done thing. I've seen loads of US flags when I'm on the EU, I am EU on this, and wow. Anyway, moving on. So just pick the damn language, please. And then you've got your roles. Now, again, for example, as I said earlier, in the Premade name, you can say what you need. You can say if you need healers and stuff, and that definitely speeds it up. But again, you want to make sure that it's specific so that people can see exactly what it is. So let's say you've got, you've got all of your tanks, you just need healers and DPS. Then untick tanks. How is that so hard? Just untick tanks, and then it shows you only need healers and DPS, and you can even put it in the title, healers and DPS, and then if a tank wants to join, they're an idiot. And then you can move over here. You've got a whole bunch of different classes. Now, this really comes in handy when we're not doing something like flex, when you're actually doing something more like normal, and maybe you're doing like 25 man and you have like 5 or 6 or 7 Death Knights. That's just how it's worked out. No one's going to get any loot. As it is, you do not want more Death Knights, so you might untick Death Knights. And perhaps you want very specifically a shaman. Maybe you just want a shaman, or for whatever reason you just need a particular class. Then just tick none, and then you can tick the exact one that you want. It's easier than just like unticking every single one of the boxes one by one, because that's going to be a pain. And if you had none and you want all, just click the all button. It's quite easy. It just speeds things up a bit. No reason not to do that. And now let's quickly just type in a password. There we go. Cool. We're going to create this sort of thing just to show you one last feature. Cool. Create the Premade. I must qualify for my own Premade. That is a good point, laddie. Let's set the eye level a bit lower. Okay, cool. Now then, let's say we've got like all of our DPS now. We can then update it to say we just need healers. Just need healers. And just need healer. I suppose you don't really need the word just there. You don't really have that much to type with. Anyway. So then you could untick DPS, and maybe you don't want any Death Knights, and you don't need. You could untick all of the ones that can be DPS classes, I guess, but there's not really a particular need for that, I guess. That's more being very specific about what kind of class you want, but I just unticked a couple just to show like maybe we were full of mages and Death Knights and Hunters, so maybe that happened earlier or something while we were setting this up, and then you just click the update button and it updates it. So you can just update it as you go and make sure that it's constantly up to date, and you don't have to be like, nope, sorry dude, that was 5 minutes ago, you're behind the times. You can just update it every like minute if it's happening that quickly. Anyway, let's go over here, and this is a point that I will get to very, very soon, actually. That's going to come next. Just hang on a second. Now it's going to be how to find a Premade. Now let's go through this. Basically, as you'll see, we've created, one or, we just created one, so you know a lot of what all of this stuff means when you're looking at this now. You can see, let's have a look at this guy. He's running a Firelands 10 man, and that looks like normal, so Firelands 10 normal. And that's his leader name, his level. His item level does not seem to be shown. I'm guessing that that's actually the minimum item level requirement, which is why it's 0, because he just doesn't seem to care. Resilience, again, it's a little bit broken. It's not quite lined up perfectly, but you can see that he doesn't want tanks. He wants 2 healers and 6 DPS, or that's something that... Hang on a minute. No. He has 2 healers and 6 DPS. Sorry, that is my bad. Anyway, roll everything from Spine. That's Dragon Soul. Mountain Run now. I'm getting a bit confused. It scrolls quite quickly. Quite quickly. Forgive me. Anyway, so you can see like they've got a tank, a healer, and 6 DPS. I do get a little bit confused by this sometimes. I know I said it was simple, but it still confuses me a bit. And as you'll see, a lot of people do not use a voice service, and you'll see that generally A lot of these are English-speaking realms, but they actually do not show their flags, and it's more common, for example, the French one over there has a French flag, so you know it's a French run. So they want French-speaking people, so do not apply to that if you don't speak French. And then you can scroll down here and find a lot of the different things that you want. And then, of course, if you want to change this, basically what happens is, maybe you're on your level 1 and you want to see if there's like a whole bunch of raids happening that you could do on your level 90. You want to make sure to untick this qualified box. The qualified box means, can I actually apply and join this raid potentially? That's what this means. So my hunter has a really crappy item level, which means that a lot of things he's just simply not qualified for. You'll see the number of raids up there. Like if I tick the qualified box, it's just instantly drops. And then you can change that. You can change, like, maybe you want something that has Ventrilo. You know, there's a group that has Ventrilo. That would be my group. Hello, my group. And there's the little key I told you about. Anyway, so you can see, yeah, it's definitely 0 tank, 0 healers, and we have 1 DPS in the group. Anyway, and then you can change the section as well. So let's unspecify that, because people don't specify, which is kind of weird. You can even just tick no voice, which a lot of people actually do. Anyway, going over here, you've got 2 different sections. You've got arenas, you've got battlegrounds, challenges, dungeons, miscellaneous. So if you don't want to do raids, tick the arena button, and that will be all of your arenas, all of there. So it just helps kind of sort things out. And if you want to clear your filters, so you make sure that it's just all back to not everything, just everything showing, you can click the clear filters button. Getting a bit tongue-tied. I've talked for a long time now, so yeah. Anyway, if you're not seeing anything here, it means you probably don't have like a network of Battle.net friends, because oQueue works through the Battle.net system. So if you aren't seeing anything here, either just wait a little bit for it to kind of, you know, refresh and show some stuff. But if you're just never seeing anything here, then you want to click this Find Mesh button, which what it will do is it'll grab a whole bunch of people from oQueue, make them your friends automatically, and then you're connected to the network. So if you cannot see it, you want to click that Find Mesh button, and it's going to give you like a crap ton of friends, and then you should be fine and you should see everything. Anyway, and let's move on to the Premade Group tab, which I was talking about a bit earlier. Now then, you've got a couple of buttons. Okay, you've got your Ready Check button, the Lucky Charms button. I think it might check if people have their Lucky Charms or something. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't actually tested that button. And then you've got the Be Right Back button, which just tells everyone that in the group that you will be right back. And then when you're back, you've got like this giant button to click, just saying I'm back, and it just notifies people for you in the chat. That's what it does. So you could theoretically just type /BRB, or or Be Right Back in the chat yourself, or you could just click the button. Up to you, totally up to you. And then you have the Disband Premade Group, which what happens in oQueue is you get into like the actual group. But if you leave that group, or if you finish your raid, people will still be applying to join your raid because it's still listed there. So if you are done with your group, you want to disband the Premade Group. And when you're in a group, I think you want to leave the Premade Group when you're leaving. So you want to make sure to click this button over here when you're actually going away. When you're done, you're finished, click that button over there on the right hand side. Anyway, let's go back to this. Now, what also happens is you get Battleground and LFR premades that happen. Now, my first warning for you is I could not find anything concrete. I have heard that it's not that is against the terms of service, or something that you can get banned, and people have been banned for using this. I do not know. Okay, so if you want to use this, go and find out yourself or risk being banned. I cannot tell you if either one way or the other. I am sorry, I did look it up quite a lot. I couldn't actually find anything, and I would say don't look at just some random person's post saying, no, it's fine, it's okay. Try and find a post from an actual blue post, you know, an actual person who works for Blizzard saying that. Or you can talk to a GM, maybe put in a ticket just before you do it. Just check. Just double check. And then maybe when they ban you, you can be like, I asked a GM and they said it was fine. Come on, how is this fair? So just to give you, gives you a little bit of room as well. So anyway, when you're queuing for a battleground, what'll happen is you might want to have it fully be a pre-made battleground, but unfortunately you can't actually queue with more than 5 people in your group. The same thing kind of goes for LFR, but what oQueue lets you do is it creates, think of it as a kind of overall group, you know, a group within oQueue itself, even though you can't set up a group that large in World of Warcraft, oQueue will set up a group that large. So for example, let's say for Battleground it's 15v15 and you want to have your side be completely pre-made, completely people of your choosing basically. So then you will have, instead of just queuing with like 15 people, because you cannot do that, you will queue with 3 groups of 5. So if you look over here, basically what will happen is, you'll have like the one group of 5, you'll have the second group of 5, and the third group of 5, and they will all be different groups within Blizzard, but in oQueue you will have like the oQueue leader. And then what will happen is the oQueue leader will say, okay, queue us for this battleground, and then it will queue everyone through oQueue at the exact same time, and that should get them kind of within the same, very, very likely to be in the same group. And then when the queue pops, what it does is it measures the time between each person's queue popping and says, oh, okay, well, that was a really, really long time, so we're going to give you a red button because you're probably not in the same group, because if it's like 5 minutes apart, you're probably not in the same group. However, it might be like a yellow button if it's like, well, you're probably in the same group, but you might not want to risk it. But if it's like everyone's queue pops at the same time, then you get like a green button that you can click, and then everyone, they're fine. Everyone's probably in that group, you join up, and all 15 of you are in the battleground. Your entire team is of your choosing. And you can do the same thing with LFR, then it would be like 5 groups of 5, so then you had like 25 people of your choosing, and then the queue should all pop at the same time and all that kind of stuff. You might not always be in the same group, but it's very, very likely. But anyway, as I said, that is something that you may want to check on before using, as I have heard of it not being quite right. I have heard of some people getting banned for it, but again, like I said, you really want to find it from the GMs or something. So if you want to use it, ask a GM or look for a blue post or something. Anyway, let's go over to the setup tab. Finally, oh my goodness, we're actually going to go through the options in this configuration video? That's amazing. Anyway, when you want to go through here is you've got your setup tab, and it'll tell you what your battle tag is there, so if you don't know how to find it in the Blizzard's UI, it's right there for you to see anyway, or it should be there. If it's not there, you might want to add it there, I don't know. Anyway, and we're going to go through all of this in just a second, but first I want to go on this right hand side because this is kind of the easier stuff. Now think of oQueue as being like this add-on that does all of that kind of stuff, and in the setup tab is a whole bunch of random things that it just does. So for example, it will automatically set your role. Oh, you're an arms spec. You're actually in arms spec, so when you join a group, let's set you as DPS, because you can't tank as arms. At least that's not likely to happen. So it will automatically set your role for you. If you don't want it to do that, you can uncheck that. Then you can have class portraits. That's automatically ticked. You can untick that. Auto inspect. You can control left click on someone and then it should like inspect them for you and everything. And you can, like I said, you can just check or uncheck these. It's fairly obvious what they do, you know. The say sapped, like if a rogue saps you, you will actually say it in says chat that you are sapped. So if you got sapped by a rogue and you're in a battleground, it'll tell everyone around you that you're sapped, and then they'll ignore that and run away from you and you'll die horribly. And then it'll also say who popped lust. If anyone pops lust, it'll announce if you get killing blows, it'll announce battleground objective, announce premades, announce contracts, announce rage quitters. A rage quitter, like for example I was doing some battlegrounds yesterday on my hunter, and one of the things it will do is if people just leave the battleground, then it generally announces them as rage quitters and says how long that they have been playing and how many people have rage quit so far. It might not even be rage quitters, they're just leaving. I unchecked it because it was getting really annoying. You can show controlled nodes and just have a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, you've got this auto join oQueue general tab, the auto hide friend request, show gear highlights, and notify on loot method change, which I think is pretty cool because, you know, if they change the loot method out of nowhere, you might want to know about that. But anyway, let's just talk about some of the other stuff. A lot of people have said that they find this add-on really, really spammy, like their chat just gets spammed. Unfortunately, I kind of wish that I was getting spammed so that I could really, really tell you guys about it, but unfortunately I don't really get very much spammage, like at all. So one of the things that I would just say though, however, is if you're getting a lot of spam in oQueue General, make sure that you do not have this checked, and then you want to leave oQueue General, and it'll be like, there should be like a / command. Also you can just kind of check if you go into the settings tab of your actual chat window, like you right click on the window and you click the settings tab, you can see what channels it actually has for you to see. So you can see like real ID conversations and all that kind of stuff, and you can check them. And it should be like, I can't remember exactly, but I think that there should be listed here. I just never seem to automatically join that group, unfortunately, so I can't help you guys as much as I would. I have no idea why it doesn't join me into the general chat. It just doesn't, so I don't tend to get spammed by that. But just as an FYI, if you are finding it very, very spammy, make sure that you uncheck this, and then you want to /leave that that chat channel, and then that should cut out that bit of spam at least. Then the next thing is, a lot of the time you'll just get spammed with like oQueue messages all of the time, or you'll be getting spammed with friend requests, and then now your friends list is just cluttered with people from oQueue. So for example, you know, you might just have like a bazillion people from oQueue because everyone's clicking Find Mesh, or you click the Find Mesh button and now suddenly you've got more friends than like ever. What you want to do is click one of these buttons. So for example, this button over here should remove all of the friends that have added you through oQueue. So it shouldn't touch your real ID friends, it shouldn't touch your other battle tag friends, you know, that guy you were in an instance with and you're like, hey man, you're awesome, and he was like, oh, you're awesome too, and then you guys shared your battle tags and now you're like best buds in the world. It shouldn't get rid of them, it'll only get rid of people through oQueue. If you met someone awesome through oQueue, it'll probably get rid of them, so just kind of as a warning. That's what that button will do, it'll just kind of help you clear it out. And then you've got the offline button, which should remove all of those people on oQueue, or that have added you through oQueue, that are offline, boom, and then I think this one just removes 5 of them, just like a random 5, I guess. And then you've got Go Dark. Now what happens with Go Dark is it should again help with the stop spamming you. I really wish I was getting spammed. I don't know why I'm not, because I really want to help you guys with that, because I know that it's quite an annoying problem that people have with it. But what you can do is you can say Go Dark, and then that will help again with the spammage. It should help. Now keep in mind that one of the ways this add-on works is it kind of tells all of the other add-ons when you get it that you have oQueue and that people should communicate with you. You know, their add-on should talk to you, right? So a lot of people will be like, I uninstalled oQueue and I'm still getting spammed. Why is this happening? Your add-on hasn't told the other add-ons that you no longer wish to be told about their stuff, so they're still sending you all of these things. So for example, if you click Go Dark and then remove oQueue, what this should do is your add-on should tell all of the add-ons out there saying, hey, you, don't spam me. And then when you remove the add-on, you shouldn't get spammed, because all of the other add-ons will be like, hey, we don't really care if this guy has the add-on or not, he just doesn't want to be spammed, so let's not spam him. And that should just help you with that. Anyway, and then I want to go over to the ban list, and then basically what happens inside of the ban list is just like a list of people that you have banned because someone was being, you didn't like them, they were being really, really stupid or whatever, saying rude things or something, you just decided to ban them, you don't want to see them again, boom, added to your ban list. I think if someone's in your ban list, they can't like join your groups, they can't even ask to join your groups. So, you know, it's just there. You can also just click this. So if you know their battle tag and you want to ban someone specifically and just type it in, you can click that. I think you can also ban people through right-clicking and stuff. I haven't used this add-on too much, especially not to ban anyone, as you can see. And then let's go over to the score. Now the score is kind of like a weekly thing in which it kind of competes with the Horde and the Alliance. It's a bit strange. It's not like super important. I mean, it's not going to be like, oh, your realms get like even more honor points because of that or something. It's just something within oQueue kind of competing the Horde and the Alliance against each other. And I have noticed that the Horde pretty much tramples the Alliance. I'm not sure if this is within this battle group or what exactly it is, but basically the Horde is just beating the Alliance in like every way currently, which is just telling you how many people have been active in the last 7 days. You can see it's 73k to 70k. You can see how many leaders there were, how many games there were, how many bosses they've like killed, I think it is, how many dragon kill points they've accrued via killing all of those things. And you can see the score over there as well. And then you've got all of these. Now, I'm not entirely sure if these are based on win rates or the number of times that Premades are formed and queued for. I can't really tell you that, I'm afraid. And it does swing wildly between the weeks. And it should reset on your kind of reset time. I've noticed, seeing as I'm on the EU, our reset day and our maintenance day is Wednesday. So it seems to reset on Wednesday. I imagine it would reset on Tuesday if you were in America. Anyway, let's talk about this button over here, which is Bounties. Basically, the add-on developer, as far as I know, will set up like a bounty on an NPC. So let's say that there's like a vendor in the middle of just nowhere. He might set up a bounty over there, and one of the things that kind of causes people to do, and yes, you can see like it'll give you like currencies towards the score, which isn't massively important, but the main thing is then the Horde and the Alliance will be like, oh, we need to kill/defend that from the other faction, try and get that first, which the whole idea is to create some world PvP for those players who really enjoy world PvP, and it's just, you know, it's there if you want it, just so that you know what that bounties thing did. And then you've got this karma button. When you're in a group, you can give people karma. Basically what happens is, as time goes on, your karma kind of moves its way back down to 0, and you can get positive karma from people giving you positive karma, and you can get negative karma from people giving you negative karma. So basically, if you act like a total ass, then people are going to give you negative karma, and people will see that you have negative karma, and you might not get invited. Again, I think it does move towards 0. So if you spam like a huge amount, and you're just doing so much, and you get lots and lots of karma, when you create a premade, your name should be like in green, if your name is in green. But currently it seems like everyone's name is always in white. I have not ever seen someone with like green karma, so it doesn't seem to be something that's a facility that's used as much as I feel it should be, because it would be really, really nice to, I think, have everyone having like super awesome karma, and that would just kind of make things a lot better. Anyway, then going back to the setup tab again, all I wanted to add was this box over here with all of this. This is for multi-boxes, because it's kind of like a list of Battle.net accounts. If you multi-box, you know, you were playing on several accounts at the same time, basically, and you want to kind of work it through oQueue, you will need to be using this. So for most people, you won't need to use this, but you can just click add, and just sort of like add names of your alts and stuff. You just add them there, and that should help. And I think colorblind support, what that does is it changes, as you can see when I click it, it actually changes the color of my entire screen. And I think part of the thing with that is it's supposed to be to help you see things easier. So you might not see the fire when you're standing in the fire. It's like an actual thing that the add-on developer has gone out of his way to do, is to help people not stand in the fire. That's what it's there for, I think, is it like changes the color of things so that like pretty much everything else will, for example, like maybe be gray, and then I think like the stuff on the ground would be just very, very easy to see by compared to the gray. You know, so that might help you. If you find that you just can never see things, that might be something that you need to look into. Also, if that's a problem you have, then go get GTFO from Curse, because it's an awesome add-on. If you have problems, if you ever stand in the fire, it'll scream at you. I'm serious, it will actually scream at you. So yeah, go do that. And yeah, that's it. I hope that this guide has helped you. I wish I could have helped a little bit more with the chat channels. Unfortunately, as I said, despite my many efforts, I cannot get this add-on to spam me, which is really sucky, but do try doing the go dark and try and leave the channels and everything like that. That just should help if you are getting spammed. And remember that you can also just remove a lot of those people that you've got through oQueue if you're finding that your friends list is just too damn long. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I really hope that it helped you out. Cheerio for now. That's it for this guide to using oQueue. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, then be sure to click that subscribe button for more guides like this one. If you'd like to see a guide on gearing up a fresh 90, then click the thumbnail on the left, or if you would like to see a really great mining spot for making gold, then click the thumbnail on the right. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you in future videos. Cheerio for now!